Good.
Okay, I'll call the Switzerland County Council meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll bring our regular October meeting to order and notice the presence of a quorum. Our first item is the meeting minutes from September 10th. These minutes were in our packet last meeting, but we just didn't get it signed. This is our sheet here. If I have any questions or anything about the September 10th meeting minutes. Not all. Entertain a motion, but please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
A motion from Todd and a second from Ken to approve the September 10th minutes. All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, the next item would be the 2026 budget, specifically the general fund. I mean, we have this updated sheet from Baker Tilly sent out today, and I mean, I feel like we've covered all the other funds. There's still some there that are that don't, I'll say they don't balance, but they have a cash balance to cover, and I think we've discussed all of those. So we're down to the general fund, which she has listed as $405,320 over. Again, there is the cash balance in general fund to cover this. We would be sitting, if we did that, we'd be sitting at 21.4%, which is over the 15% that they recommend that we keep for major operating funds. But obviously, I mean, they have it as no as sustainable because we can't keep doing this year after year, but we are good for 26. But I did, so, and Gail, correct me if I'm wrong, but this number, the 405,320, so that includes the reductions that the sheriff and the jail did.
You gotta remember, when they're taking away from their 25 budget, there's no way for me to put that into Gateway.
Right, so
You gotta
those,
remember, there's 40,000 still
Right.
come off of that.
so the 20,000 from sheriff, 20,000 from jail, and the 4,000 from coroner are not included in that because those are 26 over 25, but we still get credit for it. Because our that column A, the estimated cash balance should go up by 44,000. So to me,
It's 405. Would be 50,000.
44,000?
44,000 less,
Yeah.
because those are the 2025 items that would be basically unappropriated. So we would be sitting at 361, 320. That would be really the only changes from the previous spreadsheet, really, right? Nothing else is
Yeah. And like I said in the email, the prosecutor had said that he was gonna give back, so to speak, his 5,000 and give it to his employees. But that, I didn't do that. I just gave them the straight 3%, like, so.
Right, but we were.
So I don't know if you want to give him back the 5,000, if you want to, I don't know how you. Well, there's still 5,000 in there that. I don't know, if his employees aren't gonna get it, maybe he won't have it. Should be able to.
Well, I mean, right now, the 3% is still in there.
Right.
You look at that 5,000, that's a stipend, guys. It's a bonus. When you convert that over to salary, that means that 5,000 continues to build. So if the prosecutor wants to give it to him, he should give it to him as a bonus, not loading it into salary, so it continues year after year and creating as a salary.
Probably
And
similar.
next year during budget, we have the authority to go in and say there are no stipends for the court or the prosecutor. You do that at the beginning of a general election. After, if you vote that you're going to give the prosecutor and the judge 5,000 each, then you have to continue that through their terms.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, that's a $10,000 cut next year, but loading this into a salary makes absolutely no sense because it's not created that way. It's a nice thing to do, but not created that way.
And it would be asked to get percentage increases every year.
That's right. And it keeps building.
So you think we should just leave, or just leave the 5,000 in, the 5,000 stipend, just leave, put it in there, leave it?
You can't touch it. He's gonna get it. He gets it. Same as the judge. The judge gets it. Next year, you vote whether or not you give them a stipend at all.
So that needs to be added on to.
But that's fine, his employees are
They got
included in this,
the
right?
3%.
They're
They
the,
got
in the
the
3%. Yeah. So add the 5.
So add 5 back on.
But we're back at where right now, it's a 3% across the board, right?
Yes.
What-
Not only the general fund, but I did that, the highway, the SDER, everyone that was.
We got that, but like the question I had before though, was that could department heads possibly go in and do merit increases based on how jobs have been performed? I realize as a county, we've never done that way. But to me, just getting a raise just because I'm a body there does not make sense to me. I think that, there may be somebody in the department that deserves a higher increase and somebody that doesn't. So to me, I look at it as let the department heads decide rather than just do a blanket increase across the board. Because if we're that far in the hole on reductions, the more and more I've gone through this, just like with the percentage that we were going to ask to use from our interest that was denied. If we were to have gotten that, I think we should use that towards capital expenditures, like I said before, not towards salaries.
Agreed.
Because we're salary heavy. And the more I look at this and the more I look at this, we are salary heavy compared to population in the county. And not that I want to cut people or anything, but for those of us that are going to remain on council into 2027, pulling from our cash or pulling from our interest to cover salaries, we got to figure out other ways to get revenue or reduction in staff. That's my opinion. And the more I've looked at it, and that might not be popular, but none of us are going to take any increases because we know we're in the hole.
Well, and also, what if I could add something here? I think that we need to, going forward, this is not a problem that we can tackle at this point since we're doing the budget. But next year, we need to look at purchasing and see if we can reduce our budget so that we can give the people that are employed by the county more of a increase.
I would agree with that
And,
as well.
because we want to take care of our county employees, but we've got to cut some of the waste somewhere. And since the budget's not moving on the other end, we're not getting more tax revenue per se. We've got to really, really tighten down that budget and the line items that we're getting where it's so confusing. because everybody has office supplies. We don't know what kind of office supplies that is. I mean, are we buying, you know, is it paper? Is it toner? What is it? And what can we do to reduce that? Have we shopped it? Because I don't think we've shopped office supplies. Have we shopped gasoline? Have we shopped tires? What are we shopping? Because we need to shop that stuff and see if we can't get it a lot cheaper and reduce those, because tires is huge as far as cost for the county.
Yeah.
So is fuel. Fuel's huge. And I know from my experience, if I shop my tires, I can get really good deals out there, that I have to shop it.
Right.
It's not, it's not going down to your Big O or your Kaler Tires in Madison and just because that's where we've always gone. We've got to shop it.
Well, or even like using an Amazon Prime account for the county, it draws 5% back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's options like that as well.
That's kind of,
We have an Amazon account that everyone uses pretty much.
Drawn in.
And, yeah, I mean, salaries, I think we're at about 60% salaries. And the difference between last year's budget and this year's budget did go up, maybe about 125,000 based on this sheet. I know probably half of that was the election, which you have to do. I mean, there's an election next year, so, and there wasn't one this year, so
right.
that thing kind of goes up and down. But that was part of the expenses.
And the other thing we need to look at, and I know this has not been popular, and I know Scott and I have talked about it, is comp time instead of overtime. I know it's not popular, but
They have an ordinance that's getting ready to come out, I
Yeah.
believe.
The commissioners will handle
Yeah.
that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's an expense to that, sure.
But it just doesn't make sense to me to draw from reserves and whatnot to cover salaries. Because any business that can't cover its salaries with its revenue lets people go. I mean, any business, anywhere. I would do it in my own business. So we as a county have got to look at that. Are we staff heavy?
I want to back up a little bit on the prosecutor stipend. I feel like we need to make a motion and get that secured. Adding that back in.
It's already in there though.
No, I did not.
Oh, for 26. I mean,
He offered to take it out, so it was removed. If Council feels it should, I feel like this needs to be a motion, an
for
action.
26, it doesn't need to be in there at all,
It
correct?
has to be,
Yeah, 27.
it has to be during their terms, they have to carry it.
But he can get it and choose to distribute it as bonuses, can he?
I don't know that he can do a bonus. He has to word it differently.
Okay, so does everybody agree it's just going back in?
yes.
Yes,
Okay. So we're at, 366. $366,320 over. Everybody agree with that?
You want me to, the 5,000 needs to go back.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like the raises probably would be, that's the biggest of what we've discussed, that'd be the biggest item to get settled. Is, like I said, there's money in here, which Gail, correct me if I'm wrong, you said is about $87,513.
Yeah. that's-
So that is included in that 365. It's the raises. So I want to make a motion on that.
You saying whether we do them or not?
I think we're still having a discussion. I want,
Okay.
Lance, where Kim is going, I absolutely agree.
The merit.
I think merit makes sense, but I think it's too late to do merit. The bad part about merit is, you look at the state, hey, there isn't a judge, a prosecutor, a sheriff in this state receiving a raise. The governor's not receiving a raise. The assembly isn't receiving a raise because of budget cuts. That's the truth. So we're sitting in the same position as a county, as the state. We don't have the money to fund it. And Kim is right, when she's looking at positions, you can try merit next year, but merit is gonna fall on its face too, because all you're doing is, as was said at the local finance meeting, kicking the can down the road, guys. You're too position heavy. We are way too position heavy in this county. The census from 2010 shows this county at 14,800. 2020 shows this census as 9,000. You're reducing the amount of taxpayers that are offering us tax revenue, and we continue to increase. During that period of time, this county hired 32 bodies. How do you do that? Kim's right. No business does that. No business. Now, is that fair that we are subjected to what we have here on our table? No, it's not. We've been flush with cash. You heard Baker Tilly, 10% every year we've lost from the casino. We lost a judgment on taxes from the casino that our assessor was involved in. That hurt us in tax revenue.
We got 32 more employees now than we did in.
Were they out of
2010.
Or was it since 2010? Yeah.
Yep, but population's going down. You're not making revenue on it, and now it's
So
compounded itself.
where are those people, where are the people that,
You know, what department do you
what
have?
departments is what I'm.
Had it all the way through. You've had it in the courthouse, you've had it in the Department of Health, you've had it in the highway, you've had it in the sheriff, you've had it in SER, everywhere around here, you've had it. Go and look.
Well, I think if you're looking at the sheriff and SER, I mean, just because we have a smaller population, we also have a higher population of elderly in this county than we've had in years.
Gary, I'm not disagreeing.
So, I
The
mean, that's
numbers
something that-
numbers don't lie.
I agree, but that's,
SCER, essentially, that's potentially skewed. Because I don't know can't remember what year SCR was formed,
Well,
but
they
it was a
work to
private,
increase the
we
revenue.
had a private
that's true.
county
Yeah.
ambulance service, so every single job.
Right, and that,
That was what, 12?
was SCR.
Was that 12 or 13 when SCER was formed?
well, the thing is, there's a better
They're
ways of
not,
increasing
they're
that.
not part of
too,
the
that they don't
general
know.
fund.
And they
Just like
working,
with some of
and
the
he's working
charging.
on that.
He is, so I don't necessarily want to look at safety or,
Yeah,
As far as
SCR,
me-
highway, neither one of them are involved in the general.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. SCER and highway department are not involved in the general fund. So,
But the raises are.
but raises are.
No, why would their raises be in the general fund? Their raises.
Because it
come out
comes
of
back
their-
through.
Yeah, none of their money
Budget counts. Where do you think the revenue for that comes from?
from their own account. They have their own.
Where do you think their money comes from to feed that account?
Brian, how many
They
people
come
do you
from, it
employ?
comes from their, it doesn't come from the general fund.
Lost right now total,
30?
and 10 of those are
10 of those are part-time?
full-time.
Full-time.
But 30 no.
30 total. And I've added more recently this year to try to cut the overtime,
They have.
Yeah.
but without the part-time staff, I can't cut the overtime.
Right.
Right.
If I have a person taking their vacation time, I can't leave that seat empty, I have to fill it. So even though that's with a full-time person, in this case, then an overtime rate, or keep adding part-timers. The issue is I don't have a lot of.
Well, best-
part-timers, So my part-time.
Best I calculated it, if there were 7 or 8 positions eliminated, that covers where we're in the negative.
Okay, from where?
We just have to figure out from where.
I don't know any new positions that have been filled in the courthouse.
It's not about new positions. It's
You
about
said there's
making.
32
it's-
new.
All I'm saying
Since
is you can
2011.
go out and look at 2010, go back and start counting it, right? You had a private group, you have new sheriff department. I'm not to pick on the sheriff department. The idea was we were gonna get covered by Dearborn, Ohio, and taking those prisoners. We hired more people in during that time for the jailers, for communications, all that. Now look at what we have. Dearborn went and built their own new jail. They don't supply us with them. Jefferson did the same. They don't supply us with them. Look at the numbers of positions there. Guess what? Insane. You can't, the numbers are the numbers, guys. We can look at it. We are position heavy in this county. And what we've done over the course of those 10 years is also increase the amount of revenue or the amount of salary dollars. We put this on ourselves, and not just this group. It's happened continuously, year after year. Well, now we don't have the funding that was coming in from casino revenue and all the other benefits. We don't have that money anymore.
Well, it's changing how it's coming in, and that's one of the things we gotta really dive into is what
Yeah.
have the new revenue streams.
And I
That's
agree.
starting after
So
the budget
to Kim's
done.
point, that's why I said I agree with you. I'm
I
not
don't,
coming
I
out
don't,
of this board next year, but what's gonna happen on 2026 for 2027? The three of you that are left, you are gonna have a mess when it comes to the taxes if we don't address this now.
Because it all changes.
Yeah,
It
I
all
know.
changes.
I know,
yeah, but I,
And that's where I
You
don't.
can
like
only raise
the
taxes so
cash
much.
expanding.
right.
So then you're gonna be sitting here when you raise taxes and you hit the maximum, you're gonna be back to this exact conversation next year. You're gonna have position cuts. I guarantee you, you're gonna have position cuts.
well, I mean, going through the budget, I just don't see where, I mean, I think we have very good, sheriff's department, jail, SCER, all these, I mean, I go down through there, I don't see where it's position heavy. And I know what you're saying when you look at the total, and obviously we're over budget.
You look at the total though, Lance, and 30 of those people are county, I mean, the county took on the responsibility of providing emergency medical services.
Right.
And they're relatively, I mean, looking at their line item here, they're not really costing us. a lot.
Well, and that's where I'm saying,
And
I
so,
don't
like,
think it
you-
should
you
be
say-
there. I don't think
You
it should
say
be
that,
there.
well, we have all these new people over a period of the last 15 years. Well, we do, but they're also generating revenue. They're not, so
So,
I don't
yeah.
think that's,
And that's where we have to look at it. The departments that are bringing revenue into the county and or like Carrie said, we've got a greater population of elderly and whatnot. They've done a great job as far as generating revenue, finding new reams of revenue. But there isn't revenue coming in from other places. So we still are in the hole. So if we draw from cash reserves or we draw from interest or anything else to pay salaries, in my opinion, it's just not a good business move overall, not for a business, not for a county.
And I agree with Gary's comment that we have a huge population, census shows, we have a huge population of seniors that live off of fixed income.
Right.
Their social security. So next year, when you tax the hell out of them, their dollars go down.
Right.
You keep saying you, but you should be saying we.
Us,
Yes.
yeah, we, I'll say we, when you, I'm not in favor of this. So let me real clear. I voted against all of this stuff before. I don't think you borrow. You got to make the tough decision. You got to make the tough decisions. We can sit here and say, well, what positions were they? Well, guys, I didn't say that some of them weren't revenue. I just said we added, and we did add. But the tough call is, where do you make the cuts at? What are the non-essentials? So let's leave sheriff alone, let's leave SER alone, let's leave highway alone. Now, where do we make the cuts? Tough cuts? You want me to make the tough cuts for you? Okay, one from the auditor, take the position of the treasurer that's part-time, cut that position. Take one from the assessor, that's 3 people in that office, cut that one. But you guys who want to sit there, and I'm saying you guys, who wants to talk about
How are we
positions?
supposed to cut those positions if we're supposed to be open 40 hours a week? That's what I want to know.
There's the other side of kicking the can down the road. Okay, it is 40 hours. Do we work 40 hours consecutively? No, we don't. We don't. Do not do it.
Who doesn't work 40 hours consecutively?
Every one of your people work 40 hours?
Yes,
Every one of them.
yes,
I'd like to see a payroll accounting that shows that, because no, I can tell you, people don't believe that.
gladly.
Okay, then not off of your certificate. Show me the payroll system that we're supposed to have the last 2 years that hasn't been, still is not enforced.
It was
Well, I
last
mean-
year.
You had ADP, couldn't do it there. Now we're gonna move on to
That
this one.
ADP wasn't my fault.
I'm not pointing fingers at fault.
All right,
I'm
all right.
saying, where is it?
You.
You want to prove it. I don't believe
Well,
you're signing a voucher is right.
I've seen you in my office other than when you had a meeting and asking for something, so come in there. Spend a day if you think there needs to be a cut in there.
There is
I'm
no
just saying we're
part-time
making
deputy in the
tough
treasurer's
decisions.
office.
Yeah, you
What's
can't
that?
think.
There is no
somebody-
part-time deputy in the treasurer's office. Is that what you said?
He said it was.
I thought there was a part-time, that it shows there's a part-time deputy.
No, they already cut that.
Okay, so that one's cut, so now you gotta pull that one out.
No, it's already.
It never was in there.
Wasn't in there.
Guys, I'm asking, where do you want to cut from? Because I agree. Patty made the comment. I looked, her comment last council meeting was, I've looked, I don't see where these cuts are. Your office supplies, I agree with that. We need an oversight to look at office supplies.
And
Yeah,
there's also
Gary,
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Just in
maintenance
office supplies, it's
contracts.
only like 140,000 to the county.
We don't even know what
Yeah.
we're paying for.
Yeah,
And
what
like-
are the maintenance
Yeah, what are
contracts?
they?
We have no idea.
Who's
It's
traveling to,
always
like, the
maintenance
clerk
contract.
office has a few thousand for meetings and stuff like that. Do they need to go to
But
that?
we don't have time to make those cuts this year.
Yeah, I think all that needs to be looked at. I mean, there's some things that might qualify for the cumulative capital development.
Right.
If you're buying computers or any type of computer maintenance, it qualifies for election equipment. All that stuff qualifies for that QCAP development fund, which is doing quite well.
So as soon as the budget
You know, so
ends,
there's things that maybe can find a better home, than where we're paying. it
Or is
from.
everybody willing to not have raises to keep jobs? I mean.
but again,
That's what
you're only doing that for 1 year, because it's only gonna help you for 1 year.
Is that only, that's what, 80,000?
Yeah, but that's still not gonna put it in 366,000.
I mean, you wanna look at next year and see where we're going. You still have the 366, as you just mentioned, Kim. I agree. I would 100% agree with you on the oversight committee for office supplies. Let's have an oversight committee on medical building. We don't need it. Move them to the tech center. So create an oversight, what we can make off of that building with the commissioners. Have an oversight on the park, the business park down there, sell it.
That's all commissioner stuff.
But it
I know
does affect us.
Yeah, it does. It affects the budget, which affects us, but that's commissioner's decisions.
I mean, because we can take the easy way out and say, well, we're just gonna pull it
Yeah.
out, we're gonna pull it out of our cash. We can do that, but that's putting a damn Band-Aid on.
But we know, but I feel like we're at the Band-Aid stage, and I don't like that. But all of the stuff that we're talking about doing, all great ideas. And I think with us being new, what the majority of the council is new. The only ones that were here last year were you three. The other four of us are new. We're still, we are just, I feel like I'm just now understanding everything that's happening with this. And it's a lot of it's just because we've gone through budget together. I think that at this point, we're going to have that oversight committee, maybe with council and commissioners, to kind of go through and really look at our budget more and get a clearer picture. But I agree with Patty. What's all these professional services that we have?
Gary, I
Because it
don't-
just says professional service. I can understand what a salary is. I know a salary. But when it tells me professional services, I don't know whether to question that or not. I don't know if it's legitimate, which I'm not saying that it's not legitimate, but maybe we could do it more economically.
Yeah, you can reach out like, on the commissioners, I think they might have some in theirs, and there's other departments that have some. You can reach out to any of them. I'm sure they'd be happy to tell you
Yeah.
what they are, and they just, you only got so much room on that line item to call it what it is. But I'm sure they can tell you what it is.
And I understand where you're coming from, that you're thinking you don't have enough time, but we don't have, that's unfortunate. But the real unfortunate part here is we can put it on as a group, we can put it on for next year. It doesn't get it out of the way. It doesn't. And I think the local board of finance and all the people that attended there, I don't know if you folks looked at the number of views for that meeting. It's over 1,600 views on that meeting. And people agreeing with don't kick this thing down the road. So your local board of finance made up of three commissioners and one treasurer. Our three commissioners and one treasurer said, this isn't doable. Don't borrow from yourselves. That's a pretty big voice in the elected community to tell you don't do that. I agree with you, don't do it, but we have to make a decision whether we're gonna push this out for the next 10 months and deal with it or not.
I personally would put out there, I don't like blanket raises. I think it should be based on merit. Granted, we can't do it this year, but I wish every year in my corporate job, I just got increases every year just because my body was there.
think a small raise, blanket raise sounds reasonable. Cost of living goes up every year. I mean, if you're not
Yeah.
getting a raise equal to the cost of living, you're essentially getting a pay cut.
I get that, Scott, but I mean, if it means having a job or not having a job, you know, because if
But-
we keep going in the hole this amount of money
I
every year.
agree with
We
you.
don't have
We
money.
could give nobody a raise, we're still gonna be some.
Yeah, I agree,
So,
unless we do some drastic cuts. And that's where we're at.
So we're currently at 366, 320. There's specific items that anybody else wants to go over or line item or question about any of what's in there now? What the
If we
heck?
voted today, Lance, just to cut the animal clinic completely, that just about covers the entire budget. It's a drastic cut.
You mean shelter?
It'll be one heck of a burden on our sheriff's department.
Where do we take them?
Yeah.
Do we take them Ripley or Dearborn? Because we'll have to pay for it.
Yep, people are gonna have to pay for it.
They cheaper than what.
I mean, we keep talking about the word drastic cuts. I'm throwing them out there. That's a drastic cut.
Well, that'd be 164,000.
Two people. The whole budget.
The whole budget.
Whole budget. 202,000.
Personally, with the amount of animals running around crazy in this county and everything, I personally do think we need an animal shelter
We have to have.
in the county.
Because what happens if we do have an animal that is rabid, they have to do the investigation and all of that stuff.
Because our end, and my end of
We
the
have
county
to
has
have
the biggest
that.
population.
I mean, that's something I think the town, we should talk to the town about chipping in for.
I agree with that.
It might be, I mean, it's small, but it's, those types of
Well,
additional.
BV or Patriot,
It used to be down there.
So that's something that.
but their Patriot's gonna say the land development's not Patriot, so. Don't know. That's what they're gonna say now. No, there's just, like I said, there's putting in just a straight raise across the board makes more sense than some being 14%, some being 0, the way it was the first time it was
Yes.
presented.
But
I think we
the
take
bad
this.
thing with your raises is, I mean, that's indicative to people not understanding how bad our situation is. When you're putting in for a 14% increase, you do not understand where this county is as a whole. And those are elected officials and department heads. So everybody that put in for 10 and 7%, and we're sitting here saying, well, you're only getting 3%. Do we really believe that our department heads and elected officials understand how bad our budget situation is?
No,
No.
they can't. That's gonna,
I wouldn't expect the animal shelter manager here or them that either. I mean, that's
So then don't offer them the ability to put in an increase at all. So go back to, we can tell them that you can have up to 3%.
offer them, they have the right to ask for whatever they want, but we don't have to grant it. I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable for certain department heads to not have much of an idea of where the county budget is.
The state assembly doesn't ask any elected official in the state to go and bring back what they recommend. State assembly
they just
votes,
tell
for
them.
it, they tell them. They just tell
What you got?
We have the authority and ability to do that. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with button mask.
I'm saying it's pretty.
All right, any other line items you want to discuss? Or-
This is not gonna be popular, but the summer work study comes out of the general fund, it's 4,500.
More extension?
The extension office. Some of that comes back. They get it. They cut, they get some of it. Certain applicants.
I mean, if they want to hire him through a grant,
If they might,
that wouldn't be coming out of the general,
they put it in there and then it gets
but then it gets refunded, but we don't know how much that gets refunded.
Yeah.
We do
You know,
know what's going on.
wasn't that a 50-50 deal before?
Yeah. so
Maybe still is.
They have to,
With Purdue,
yeah.
if they meet these requirements, Purdue will pay half, I believe is how it is.
I thought I already had.
I mean, the election budget went from 57 and 25 to 131 and 54. So
That's a big part of the jump, which I, obviously have.
you know, it is what it is. You have to do that, you can't,
But there may be, and I don't know that she's buying any new
you know.
equipment or,
So,
um,
I mean,
But
just
going
the balance
forward, some of that
itself
might-
are a huge
yeah,
expense that you cannot, there's nothing you can do about it.
but some of that might, like I was saying before, qualify for that other fund, or it could be paid out of there.
I think the permanent request on here is 45,269. And 3%, which should be 42,806. Deputy recorder.
Well, that's because that,
3%.
that 41,560, that's not at the 2113 network that you guys did back in April, May. That's what was approved, but that's not. It should be,
43,950, right?
yeah. We have to do your 43,950, that's what that,
So it already had an increase this year.
45, yes. You guys approved the,
That's what I'm saying. So it already had an increase in 25 and getting another 3% increase in the 26, which actually kind of doubles it from what the 2025 approved was. That's kind of what I'm. 2025 approved budget,
was 41,560, and then you guys approved an additional
exactly.
dollar and some change. And then that bumped it up to 43,950.
I got it. But from 43,950 to 45,269, that's basically 2 raises in a year. That's 2 raises in a year on the budget.
Well, but
I don't necessarily agree with that.
but do you remember why we did that? The first one?
Yeah, because everybody came in and said that they were working the 40 hours and make up the difference. in the hours.
It's so the money's there for 40 hours. If that's what they ended up working. That was just an increase of where they were. That's what, at that time, that's what we decided.
I get that, but that wasn't the 2025 approved budget. We made a
Correct.
change of it.
Correct.
So that's 2 increases.
Yes,
That's all I'm saying.
yes.
So you caused your own problem. So you increased the budget without seeing the conversation back in the spring and earlier this year was, don't do this until you really know what you have coming, but you did it. And I can honestly say you, because I voted every time against that.
Did you know in Senate Enrolled Act number 1 was coming?
Yeah.
You did?
You knew that it was on the table. That was the whole point. Go back and look at that meeting. I said, SB 1, nobody knows. You even had Baker Tilly in here saying you probably should wait. And she even said, I don't know how you're going to give increases this year. Waiting would have been the right thing. It's done and done. I mean, 366, guys.
A lot of things that come to the table though that don't get passed, every year, all the time.
As people want to provide additional taxing avenues in the next year or two as well.
Oh. To a certain amount, you can only raise it a certain amount, all the way across the board. And I'll go back to Cary's county. The biggest population in this county is your seniors. And the majority of them live on fixed income. And my God, you got our economic development, go out and look. It's out there in the Cincinnati Enquirer, $5,000 to come to Switzerland County because of what? Less population. That's why they offered it.
To do your remote job from.
There you go. The remote job.
Actually, economic development's having a meeting right across there. We should ask him what they're doing.
And that's a grant. That's fine. But the reason he's offering that money is because you have less population here.
Lower taxes. Population may be down, but the parcels, people are buying and selling land that they're splitting, which is another.
You say so.
I can get you the number. for the
Taxes are
parcel.
taxes. Whether the seniors aren't moving out, you're just gonna tax them. Less money in their pocket.
Wanted to find out on the in tax, can council use that under 3%? Can we vote that in?
Hey, let's focus on the massive task at hand here. I want to, this 366, what are we doing here? What do we think about raises, no raises? Any other line items? we're gonna be here all night.
Put in my 2 cents worth.
I mean, because we need drastic cuts, I'll make a motion and get shot down or not. I'll make a motion for drastic cuts. I suggest that we begin by cutting one position, the communication director out of the sheriff department. We cut one position out of the auditor, one position out of the assessor's office.
Okay.
The assessor's office, if you cut one position, we're.
Gail, I can appreciate that you're saying.
No, I'm just saying-
I need to understand what you're, okay.
Right, I'm just saying.
You can start adding it up.
Your motion is, can you say it again, Matt? Sorry.
The director of communication out of the sheriff department, one position out of the auditor's office, one position out of the assessor's office. If you go back, you go back to what the health department did, they are under a smaller budget, but they made cuts to their programs. So 5,000, we increased the administrator by 10,000, the nurse by 6,000, and the sewer or whatever person that is by 4,000, each one of them, because those budgets have been decreased by over half. Cut 5,000 from the administrator's salary of health, 3,000 from the nurse, and 2,000 from the salary sewer. That gives you another 10.
Wait, hold on. Are you, is that
This is part of the motion. That you asked for, I'm making a motion.
I did,
to shut
but
it down. You can shoot it down. All you have to
Yeah, I
do
got
is say in
to.
a second.
yes, I had to shoot it down because you're talking about things that aren't even in the general fund.
You are right. I'm sorry. I'm looking at additional. So the sheriff is, the treasurer, the auditor, you can take those out. The commissioners, $20,000 for their administrative assistant, you can cut that. No increases for elected or department heads, excluding SER for 3%. They get their 3% increase. You total all that up, you're about $170,000.
Which position in communication are you talking about?
Said the director of community,
There's no director in here.
or what's he called, manager of.
I don't know, I don't see one.
He's, What's his name?
It's 133.
Up in, we're talking about 105 in your sheriff's office?
Yeah. The
So that's-
911, but the,
That's 130.
What line, give me a line
It's
item.
105, it's the GIS/IT, I believe is what you're talking about, or are you talking about communications, the 1217?
Five.
Are you talking about the 4126, 105, 4126?
That's the GIS. we have in IT.
Well, I don't know.
yeah,
You're
that's the one.
director.
Let's look at that.
That's what we're talking.
105, 4126.
That's the one, yeah.
Sixties.
105. 4126.
What position in the deputy's office?
That's up to,
That'd be an additional 60,770.
So you're, let me just repeat the motion. Your motion is to eliminate the sheriff GIS director, line item 105, 4126. Deputy in the auditor's office, deputy in the assessor's office, and the commissioner's administrative assistant.
Yep.
That's it?
That's my initial, yeah.
That's your motion? Okay. Okay, I've got a motion. Matt,
I'm totaling here. Assessor,
From the GIS.
60,770.
Keep in mind with every one of those, not that we get it, guys, but every position we cut, it's 15,000 in benefits. It goes back to the commissioners. For their casino rev, because they cover all benefits too.
For everybody. In the assessor's office, there's just the assessor and the deputy assessor, but isn't there another
There's
position
one, but it's
somewhere?
without a reassessment, that's what I was trying to
That's in what, 116?
the reassessment's not.
reassessment is 1223, I don't, I'm not sure.
What's the ISEPS?
That's, I said, that's John's,
Okay.
it's on
Yeah,
the
you
first
can't-
option.
But are both the deputies and the assessor the same amount?
Right, 45,260.
No, the one in the reassessment is lower.
The administration, administrative assistant be 25.
25 even?
Or 45,269. Okay, so I got a motion from Matt to eliminate the sheriff's GIS director. It's item number 105-4126. As well as a deputy in the auditor's office, a deputy in the assessor's office, and also the administrative assistant in the commissioner's budget.
That's 176,300.
What was the one in the commissioner's, what is it, we have 20 or 25?
25. Do I have a second for that motion?
Be 176,308. Second.
Second by Kim. 176,301.
176, 301,
308.
308.
Any discussion? Questions?
Lance, if that would pass at 176, that'd leave us what, from 366, so you'd be,
Then that's still with raises in there.
so show good faith to the county that we did make tough cuts. You could then turn around and take from the council's casino revenue and covered the second half, you are still kicking some of the can down the road, but you could do that.
Cause that leaves $190,012.
But doing all of it from the casino, that doesn't make sense if you're not willing to make the tough cuts. Started the process, you don't, those are positions you don't have to worry about next year in next year's budget. And again, I'll say, I agree with Carrie. These oversight committees on how we spend, they need to get started almost as soon as the budget ends. No,
But it's in the budget,
But
$5,000. So that's an easy cut because there's not even somebody that, we're not even cutting the
you're
rest.
also giving back off of these cuts. Keep in mind that $15,000. And folks, what's in front of us still in April, we don't know what our property casualty insurance is gonna pop to.
Because they're making big changes there.
It's gonna go up.
Is there any more questions about the, so the motion is, to eliminate the sheriff GIS director position, 105-4126. Eliminate the deputy in the auditor's office, the deputy in the assessor's office, and the administrative assistant in the commissioner's budget. Any other questions? It's seconded by Kim. Are there any other questions?
One question. The courthouse has a maintenance person and a custodian for the annex and stuff, right? Why couldn't that be combined?
I'm pretty sure we pay somebody to mow the grass too, in addition to that.
I got that. I mean,
Well,
like somebody to mow and
They don't
everything.
pay anybody but the courthouse
Oh.
yard.
But
I mean
that's,
landscaping and stuff.
Yeah.
We were pretty much.
But I think the addition of sewer districts, Bush Hog. and-
that's eight.
Yeah.
We need to, hold on, we got a motion on the floor and we need to stick with
I
it.
know it, but if we add to it, we can, because he had his motion, but there's 80-some thousand there between those two positions. We could cut that in half. And add one more on there.
Well, there need to be another motion with those two positions since we've already done.
Oh, you're in discussion. You can add, we can add to the
I don't
motion.
know if one can do the whole job, scope of that job.
Of maintenance and custodian.
Isn't, there's a custodian full-time or
Maybe
part-time?
one of them could, another one could. So,
Oh, so we have, okay, the maintenance is full-time and custodian's full-time. I was just looking for other places. Go ahead.
There's probably one of those positions. Do more.
Maybe you take that up. I mean, again, just like an oversight, you have an oversight back over with the commissioners, working with them. That we look to see if we can contract that and cut it out of next year's budget.
Well, just like, what was it? Mowing and mulching and making the courthouse look nice and everything outside. I mean, shoot, I'd take that job of what we pay.
Okay.
More than I-
The motion on the floor from Matt is the sheriff, is the remove sheriff GIS director, 105-4126. Remove the auditor's office, a deputy in the auditor's office, a deputy in the assessor's office, and the administrative assistant in the commissioner's budgets, 4 positions, seconded by Kim. All those in favor, raise your hand. Those opposed?
That's your motion.
You can make a new motion.
I mean, we're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, guys.
Exactly.
Keep talking about this.
I know.
Those are the tough decisions.
We're not making.
I vote
them.
yes.
You're not making it.
I would just like to see some job descriptions and what everybody does before I eliminate a job. Just, because
Oh,
I'm new and I don't know. That's what,
You don't have time, Pat.
I know I don't have time, but I can't vote yes on something when I don't know what everybody does. Is the job still gonna get done? That's my question. Is deadline still gonna be met? We gonna get fines if we didn't file taxes on time or something like that? I mean, that's my thought.
Make a motion to cut the commissioner's admin assistant.
I'll second that, Scott.
Got a motion from Scott to remove
I mean, no, won't make cuts, so some,
$25,000.
some of my deal with Walgreens.
admin assistant, who seconded that? You seconded that?
I did.
Oh, Patty, sorry. Okay, I got a motion from Scott to remove the administrative assistant in the commissioner's budget, seconded by Patty. Is there any questions? All those in favor?
Not that one.
All agree.
Finally, finally.
That's what you guys always do. You always take from the commissioners and you don't touch anybody else. So it's pretty common.
We're trying, Jamie.
No, it's bullshit, honestly.
That puts us at 341,320 in the hole.
I think tough decisions have to be made. We always make them. We've made the cuts. You guys refuse to.
Did you not, you just hear?
You guys refuse
Hey,
to every year.
Okay, thank you. Guys, you got another motion or what's the next step here?
Second, that, John.
I would rather reduce some positions than not give anybody in the county a raise. But we gotta make a choice, guys. I mean, we're not gonna be able to keep everything and keep everybody's raises.
I mean, I agree. I mean, this predicament we're in can't go on year after year. But we've been conservative. We've saved up money. We've not spent everything we've had. We've got the money to cover till we can dig into this further and see what changes that we have to make. I mean, we have to make a move in the next couple of years because of the revenue stream changing. I mean, we're forced to. If the public safety tax goes away, and if SCER doesn't fit in the fire and EMS definitions of the state, they've got to come into the general fund. They bring $1 million budget with them. I mean, but they also bring some revenue, but I mean, it's just things like that. It's really got to be looked at. I mean, our public safety, we spend over $4 million on public safety. And, to not have a public safety tax makes that difficult to add that in with all the,
I don't disagree with your comments that we've done a great job of saving, but again, you have to be honest. We're 1.6 million that our commissioners pay for in just benefits. They haven't decided on their budget. And you just heard from the audience out there, from one of the commissioners, you guys never, if they decide that they're gonna throw that 1.6 million on us, you got a bigger problem now. And they can do that. I said, we should ask them what they're gonna cover. They haven't told us what they're covering. So you keep cutting out of theirs, they can give it right back to us at 1.6 million, guys. So saving, do I believe we've saved? I believe we've tried to. Have we done a really good job of it? No. Because it's not just benefits, it's the medical building, it's the tech building, it's sewer and water. We should have been saving harder. Again, that's the issue that we're in front of right at this moment. You got to make those tough decisions. But if they want to throw all this back on us, they absolutely can. There's nothing we can do about it. So making those cuts of those positions, and if you want to go out and say no salary increases, or my motion was to cut that $20,000, you can now go out and reinstitute the 3 positions that I asked for before. Maybe somebody will join the club here and realize we need to make tough decisions.
We got one of those 3 already.
Yep. So now you go out and ask up for the next 3. Yep.
You did.
Yeah, I know. I know what I did.
Why don't we go for the number 2 assessor?
Is that your motion?
Let's make a motion to cut the deputy assessor. The second one of your original motion. Make that motion.
Got a motion from Todd to remove the deputy assessor.
The 45, 260.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Matt. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. Those opposed?
That's not bad.
No, motion failed, sorry.
Okay.
Motion failed.
So we're still at $341,320.
Three hundred forty-six.
No, because we did 25.
20.
I mean, if elected officials have taken raises in X amount of years, anybody non-elected has gotten increases. And that's not really fair either. If elected officials haven't gotten any kind of raise, and everybody that works under them has.
Agree. Didn't other elected officials get a raise, though, just not county council commissioners?
County council has.
Yeah, I knew
No,
they,
these three.
commissioner, but I thought like your auditor, your assessor, they're elected. Did they
Not
get?
last, not last year.
Okay.
We did not.
Not in spring.
And that's what I was saying, like last year, all the elected officials were pretty much included in that. You switch it and elected officials get one and everybody else doesn't.
Well, there's no state rule that says elected officials have to have a high salary.
Yeah, that.
And an elected official's salary is only good for 1 year. You can cut every
Make
elected
changes.
official, except for the prosecutor, the judge, and the sheriff.
I don't know, I've had a lot of caffeine hanging here a long time.
Good to talk. Good to talk.
Balance. $5,969 is what our estimated balance. Actually, you can add 44,000 in that. Money that the departments gave back.
Yeah.
So the IT, the GIS mapping director, there was nothing in 2022. So was that an added position in 23?
No. He, in 2022, it was just renamed, he combined the two, let me get to my. Which the sheriff was here, so he was talking more about it than myself.
My thought was
That position and just,
Yeah, it was just renamed.
it was just
Okay.
renamed and kind of combined. It was the same position, but it was basically, instead of the GIS mapping was not in there, just IT, so he added the second title.
Dispatch, so,
It's, well, you have the 911 director. He depends
I'll
out.
give it to
It's like 80, we ain't cut no more. Sheriff's Department, we don't get it.
I mean, this, you know, I think this should be obviously a wake-up call to what we've got coming. That's why I'm still, you know, where we're standing now. You know, I'm good with moving forward where we are, but everybody's got to understand what's coming, and we have to seriously dig into this and not just at the last minute like we're trying to do now. You know, and Yvette sent out last Monday what the new taxes options are and some details on those. And they may change a little bit with the General Assembly, but those are our options of what we can use going forward. I think it's all got to be studied very, very seriously.
Agree with that part of it too.
I mean, to me, eliminating positions at the 11th hour, it's,
I'm not
if we
opposed to,
didn't have the money, I mean, we're gonna be at like 22% cash reserve, or well over where we just can't continue down this way, obviously, but.
I'm not opposed to eliminating positions, but I just, because I'm new, I'd like to see a job descriptions. Like, do you have them for your 4 people in your office, Gail? Like, I would
I
just
have
like to see what
everybody's-
everybody's responsible.
I see
It's something to be
everybody's in there.
consolidated, you know?
Or I have everybody's in there, I'm sorry.
Okay, if you could share, at least the ones we're talking, like the assessor's office and your office and stuff.
Yeah, like the SOPs and.
Yeah,
So first year.
I just don't like doing it last minute.
First year.
I wanna know what I'm doing here.
37,150.
Look at additional revenue streams, and look at, positions, that.
That should count against us. In a budget, I mean, I think, yes, it counts against us, but it shouldn't count like a salary because it's only every 2 years that we pay that for election.
Yeah,
So we got 37 for the election next year. We're at around 37, little over $37,000, just what we're spending in election for next year. And of course, we can't cut that because we have to have those positions, but I mean, that's not, those are salaries, but they're not salaries that occur every year.
Only
So,
one of them. There's only one in the election. There's only one in that department that gets paid every year.
right, that's what I'm
And the
saying, but there's
election board.
37, just a little over 37,000 in supplies, meals and people,
Why do
That-
we them?
because we've always have.
It's probably more than that, actually. It's 37. Right closer to 80, I think. Her budget's at 131. It was at 50 so much.
Yeah, last year was 57.
because I'm kind of with Matt, I mean, the commissioners, with pulling just the commissioner's position out of there, the position that they wanted. I mean, if you're wanting to pull from the cash reserves and everything else, we might as well just put that damn thing back in there too. You know, if we're not willing to cut from anywhere else. That's my feeling about it.
I'm not saying you gotta cut off 366, I agree with Lance, but you gotta show this community, we're willing to make some tough cuts, at least half of the cuts. Half. We're sitting here going, oh, we didn't have time. Who didn't know that this was coming? Who didn't?
Well, there's a difference between knowing and.
You gave, that's my point, Lance, we gave out raises, we didn't know, it was, the threat was out
I'm
there.
talking about
already.
since this showed up since we've had this. I mean, there it is.
Well, 2 times,
No one said anything about eliminating positions before tonight.
yeah, I did,
Yeah.
I did. I
Which
asked
one?
about
I
that
mean,
before,
specific ones?
2 of these papers ago.
Specific positions.
We-
Not specific positions, but I
No.
said we're people heavy.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a general comment. I can't do anything with that.
Baker Tilly told us, you'd be lucky, I don't know how you're gonna give us raises back in March. That's what we hired those folks for. That's what we hired them.
Matt,
for.
I understand. Again, that's a general comment. I need specifics in the book.
That's
I think
where-
Hurst was specific. You guys are losing 10% from your casino every year for the last 4 years. That's your warning sign, Lance.
Okay.
That's the bells and whistles. I would disagree with you that
Well,
everybody should have been doing this, everybody.
I understand, but we're drowning and you're describing the water.
No,
No,
I want
No,
you
I'm
to
not.
tell me, like, this is the positions we're heavy in. 1, 2, 3, and point them out like
I
you've done
just-
tonight. That's what I was talking about, should have done 2 months ago. That's what I'm frustrated about. This number in that column's not changed a whole lot.
that was where
Lance,
I asked 2 meetings ago, why we didn't have a joint meeting like was done last year, where all the department heads came in and we actually had conversation with the department heads and went line by line. That I totally understood. I wasn't even on council then, but I sat through the whole thing last year. That, to me, if we could do that, and granted, it's getting late yet, but I would have liked to have done that even a month ago. Bring all the department heads in, go through there to see, where fat can be cut. But now we're behind the, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
They came in and made statements of here's what we're
When,
requesting.
when we brought them in, you made the comment, we're here to listen to what their budgets are. There were no discussions
We
on
didn't
any
hash
cuts.
stuff out with them
You
then.
said that.
So I didn't let you guys ask questions.
No, that's not the point. We all are responsible for our own.
We
I get
asked
it.
some questions, but it wasn't like a handout.
Lance, we're 6 meetings less than what we had last year. Kim is right. We brought those commissioners in. We asked them to help us with it. We didn't do that this year. We had individual meetings where we made cuts after the cost center managers, department heads, elected officials shared their budgets. We brought them back and told them, go and cut 10%. We did not do that this year. You went at last meeting. I said, Kerry agreed. Let's have them go and look at their budgets and tell us that recommendation stayed pat. Nobody. You went out last Friday. You told the local board of finance, you went out and called a couple people to get their budgets reduced. Why didn't we use that time back then to say all of them go out and cut? So I gotta agree with Kim. We didn't do it. The warning signs, it's not the water. We saw it.
And that might be why I'm kind of confused, is because I sat through how it was done last year before I ran. And I thought that's just kind of how it was done every year.
And I'm sorry.
Last year was not how it's done every year, not even close.
Yeah, last year was the first year we were doing it that way. And it was the way it was supposed to be done.
No, it's not.
But we can argue that a different day. But where we are, it's like saying, I'm new to the council. You were elected to the council, you read the rules for the council. That's the deal. You don't get time to put a year behind you to come out and say, I need to understand it better. We're all supposed to understand our position. There's a lot of things that happen. Gail, this is council discussion.
I know, but you should have came to me if you had that in, you didn't just.
Yeah, I just looked at this since the last meeting.
Well, why didn't you come and say, hey, Gail, is there any way?
I don't need to come to you and say, hey, I'm supposed to do my job. My job is as a fiscal, I don't look to you. You're not a member of council.
I'm not,
You're
I'm
the
a
secretary.
department head. I'm a department.
Sure
head,
you
that's
are.
what I'm saying.
And you didn't make the cuts. What cuts have you offered out of your
I don't
office?
have anything to cut.
I
have
think you
all
do
the
have things to
supplies
cut.
and food, and you're saying I have an extra place.
You can shut it off. I'm saying, guys, you gotta show the community that you're willing to make some cuts instead of asking for 300 and how much, Kim? 41,000 now?
341,320.
You gotta get to them some way. And as Scott just said, well, maybe you just pissed off the commissioners. Well, maybe I did piss off the commissioners. Maybe they are gonna come and throw it on us. Get ready for that.
Okay. Yeah, we're currently at 341, 320.
And you're saying we cannot go to department heads and request.
I don't think we have time.
We got till what, November 13th?
Third,
3rd.
That date makes me nervous. I mean, it's
you need what, 7 days?
advertised, you had 7 days to advertise the adoption date.
It's almost 3 weeks.
And if I have any other items you want to bring up?
6.7% of receipts. Everyone know. You have to cut 6.7%.
The auditor's office has 5 positions. Gail,
And then I
right?
have four.
4. Assessors has
3.
Two in the general fund and 1 in reassessment.
Yeah. Treasurer's office has 2.
What is the, 2024 actual, just going back over, 2024 actual for the election, and was it $88,078? And then the request this year is 131,54. That's a big jump.
The 24, which is the town election,
Election.
then we get reimbursed.
24 was a federal election.
That's too.
Yes,
I but I know we did so.
24 was a
You're paying
federal
for
election. This is just a town election this year.
No, this is 826 into the general election. I'm up for reelection next year.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, it's not a statewide or nationwide election. You're not gonna have as many people come out for that election as you would for a nationwide or statewide election.
It doesn't matter what you,
I don't know.
what we believe that you are gonna have, you have to do it off the count. They have, Gail would know. You have to budget for exactly what you have in the county.
But the budget is budgeting off of what we have in the county, but the actual is not gonna be what we have budgeted, is what I'm saying.
Plus they,
It should
one
be.
of the vendors added a fee into the, she has to start paying for the license for the, using that is almost 200,000, 15 to 20,000 there. We've never had to pay that before.
Then that answers my question, because that's quite a bit of a jump.
Yeah.
Now that you've told me that there's a fee for licensing, that makes sense.
The cost of the balance is ridiculous.
Okay, that makes sense now. That was my question. I appreciate you knowing that.
Yeah.
You see, we have to have you in the courthouse to do that. Let's do it now.
You think it's too late to send it back for the budget again?
To me, if it's a sent back and everybody can go back through it, to me, they'd appreciate that more than just us
If
doing
it's doable,
or no
let's do
raises
it.
for anybody.
Well, how much are you gonna ask them to cut? Because if you just send it back and say, we already got one that said, came back and said, I can't cut anymore. Well, yeah, you can cut more. So you gotta come up, if it's 6.7, then let's tell them they gotta cut half of it and say, everybody has to cut 3.2% of their budget, everybody.
Got time to do it, we need to make a move on.
And if you don't cut your 3.2, then we'll cut it for you.
I'll get on that.
That could be positions. You sure you wanna say that? I mean,
I
you just
feel
said
like-
it.
I
You're
feel
like,
like- I
if
feel
somebody
like
didn't come in at
I
3.2,
would-
you're willing to say you're gonna cut it.
more fair.
I think that's fair. I think that's putting it back into the elected officials' hands. That's what they are elected to do. They have to make the hard decisions as well. They know those people.
Instead of let's
They
like
can talk to those people.
cut
They say,
stuff.
you know, we want a 4% budget decrease. Let's try to decrease the budget 4%. Absolutely have to try, not
So
try.
don't expect the commissioners to come back and be the only ones. That's what happened last year. They were the only department to cut 10%. Everybody else gave us little pieces and pence of what they had. So if you want to say 3.2, that's every cost center, 3.2. If you don't do it, we'll do it for you. And that could be positions of which 4 of you continually vote against cutting positions. So
Yeah, I just don't know that, to me, I don't know that there's anything left. I feel like some of these departments, it's their salaries and absolutely what they need to run it.
well, we
I
haven't asked
agree
them
with you,
either.
but I don't know that for sure.
I mean, I've combed through this over and over, and it's just,
So we just had our auditor tell me that I should have gone and asked her, so let's go and ask. Let's ask. Tell them 3.2, not 6.7, 3.2% of your budget's gotta be cut.
I mean, what number are you trying to get to? What is, I mean, 3.2, what number is that, where do we
If
like?
we could
That
at
would
least
give
get
you
it to
half.
half,
Half of the 341.
I don't think they'll cut 3.2. But I'm willing to try. Tell them they have until next Monday. Schedule a council meeting for next Monday.
yeah, because if we're gonna eat in the cash reserves, you know what I mean, for half, I think that's fair.
After, again, you're not gonna get 3.2 park. You're not. They won't do it.
Yeah, there's some that can, there's some that's got, these big contracts and different things, and, maybe there's 3% there, but some just don't.
We'll make
I
that
mean,
motion.
the surveyor is by himself.
Yeah, like the ISTS, it's just salary and like $600 office supply.
Yeah, there's
Nothing
several
else
of
in
them.
there,
It's
there's
not-
only one position.
That's part of the clerk's office.
Oh.
License in the election college done by the clerk.
Well, to get out of discussion, I'll make the motion. So I'm making a motion that, we go back to every cost center. Every department head elected official that's in charge of a cost center or department head's budget. And we tell them they have to cut 3.2%. If they don't cut it, we will cut it next Monday, and the council should form a meeting now for next Monday at 5:00.
Can't do
I can't
Monday.
be Monday. I have a school board meeting.
Tuesday.
Well, let's just do the motion. I don't want to do the meeting in the motion.
Okay.
Motion is to,
3.2% cut across the board.
By Monday. the
Every
20th.
department,
General
3.2%.
then this is general fund department heads,
Yes.
to cut 3.2%. The 2026 budget,
Just the general fund.
general fund. Okay, so I got a motion from Matt to ask all general fund department heads to reduce their 2026 budget by 3.2%, correct?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
By Carrie, questions?
But the part you didn't add in, or we will make the cuts to 3.2%. I want you to add that. If they don't come back at 3.2%, we're making the cuts to 3.2. We will do it ourselves.
Well, I mean, that's implied. That's our.
I don't think that, I hear that it's implied. I'm saying it. I want it said. They don't make the cuts to 3.2, we will cut the budgets to 3.2.
I don't know. Jefferson,
The
you see
motion
any
is
issue
that-
with, you see any issue with, I mean, forcing the other elected officials' hands to hit a target, I guess, in the future? I don't.
I mean, he can make the motion, it's just, is it gonna pass? So I'm understanding it, the motion is to get this information, to direct them to make these cuts, or alternatively, at the next meeting, council's gonna make those cuts. Am I understanding that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't do.
And I'm guessing Patty still wants to see everybody's job description along the way.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about cutting jobs, I like this, he's at least the, if
I've got
that's
it written down.
Yeah,
Sure, it's quick.
I think that,
I think that may be already happening. I mean,
Yes.
right? Okay. So Jefferson said a lot better than I did. Matt's motion is to ask the general fund department heads to reduce their budget for next year 3.2%, or council will make those adjustments at the next meeting.
and I think that,
Yes.
and I think that, with this being recorded, the department heads need to go back and look and see what we've discussed about getting rid of, because that might be where we start.
Your second is still okay with that?
I'm absolutely okay with that. I want to give it back to the elected officials to make that determination for themselves before we take it on.
That's what I want.
I know somebody like the surveyor gonna cut
Probably not.
it. So we're gonna
somebody else wants to cut
his
extra to make
pay
it.
by 3.2.
You best do 3.2 in every department. Surveyor should probably come and say, I can't do it. Explain it to us. We're not telling them they can't come. You can fill the whole room with every one of them and have them step in front of us at the next meeting and tell us why they can't.
What's the potential?
It's a fund that he gets extra money put in there out of each. Or that he ever gets into.
Is there any other discussion, questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so we should schedule our next meeting.
But they have until, we didn't decide on until when.
Well, I guess it'll depend on our next meeting. We also need to give them time to get them to Gail so she can update this, correct?
Right.
We got it back in 7 days, correct?
She,
It needs to be posted 7 days prior
The third.
to the third.
It has to be posted the 27th with the changes, right, Gail? Advertised. What we're approving.
I'll have to get it to them.
So it's next week.
Yeah, because then the third's Monday. Which means we need to meet probably sometime between the 20th and the 22nd, 20th and 23rd.
23rd down for me.
Out for me. I can only meet on the 21st and 22nd.
Let's see, we do it one of those 2 days.
I'm there with
That's a
either
good
one of those
day.
days.
I'm good with either one.
do the 21st, so 1 week from today.
Tuesday.
How much time do you need to put all this in the paper and get it to us?
7 days prior, so if I.
No,
get it
for
to
us,
you,
to make, to see what the cuts are.
I get it, if they get it back to me, if I get this out and get it back to them tomorrow, if they, I don't know, you guys want to give them until Friday, the 17th?
Get their changes to you by Friday noon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then,
So if I don't hear from anyone by the 17th, then it goes back to you guys.
Yep.
17th, yeah, so then you can compile it and send anything out on the 20th.
I can track and try to get it, if they get it to me, I'll just do them as they give them to me.
So we're doing 5 o'clock on the 21st. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what I thought worked in that meeting last year, was when the department heads, the commissioners and the council kind of all, I mean, there were some heated arguments and whatnot, but it seemed like it hashed everything out a lot better.
As not the secretary of this meeting here, but as the auditor, if I came to you, you could have asked me anything that day. And most of the department heads assumed that that's what you were gonna do because that's what they had done prior, not last year, but prior to this year and everything. They were waiting for you guys to ask questions. And they didn't.
Well, I mean, I thought it was just for you guys to present to us, and then we were gonna have discussions about what you presented. That's how it was explained to me.
That's not how that had been done. So I'm just saying, you know, you guys are more than welcome to come into any office anytime. And if you have you want to go cut in positions, you should approach that department head and say, hey, is there any way that you can,
For me,
without, is there any?
For me, I would rather have discussions with the whole group of us, to be honest. Because I think when you have individual meetings with department heads or whatnot, there's too much he said, she says, everything else going on. I would rather have everything in a forum with discussions to where the whole council could hear it go. I mean, that's just
Well,
for me.
true.
because-
Let alone that the entire public in here, because that.
And I'm not trying to say to not have the public hear.
No,
I'm
I
just
get it.
saying, you know,
It's a lot. Also,
it is,
it sounds good, but when you're talking about 24 department heads. and-
right. But
And 7
the
council
ones
members
that
are
were
going
just
to-
mentioned
Yeah,
to-
jobs and, you know.
Yeah, there's 350 or there's 290 line items in the budget.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go through. It's, in one form.
It is. It's a lot to go through, putting it in, no raises, 3% raise. Go ahead and put it back in at 3%,
Yeah.
advertise it at this, so I
Um,
get it, but
So I think it seems best to make the changes that we made today into Gateway, in the Gateway, I guess.
Well, we really didn't make the one.
two, you put the
And
5,000
then-
back into
Oh,
the
yeah.
prosecutor and eliminated the 25 from the,
and then send this to the department heads. So we're talking about removing from this one, not the originals that they sent.
Right.
This one. So that everybody's working off the same.
Okay.
And even if some of them say they can't, if they could send an email, say they can. I mean, at least we've heard from everybody, or whatever the situation is. So they're aware of the deadline. Okay, anybody have anything else? Oh. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Carrie. Motion from Carrie, the second from Todd to adjourn. All those in favor?
Yeah, question. Or you guys do.